As stated by a Brazilian official to the website, the negotiation could be finalized until the end of 2024. According to other sources familiar with the negotiation, the procurement could involve surplus USAF Boeing KC-135 tankers. On the 14th of June, the FAB confirmed the interest on the acquisition of F-16 fighters. India, edit. Main article, Indian MRCA competition. For the ongoing Indian MRCA competition for the Indian Air Force, IAF, Lockheed Martin was offering the customized F-16 in Super Viper. The F-16 is based closely on the F-16E/F Block 60 and features conformal fuel tanks, an N/APG-80 radar, a GEF-110-132 engine with FADEC controls, an electronic warfare suite, an infrared search and track (IRST) sensor, an updated all-color glass cockpit, and a helmet-mounted cueing system. Lockheed Martin and the United States government intensively lobbied for India's $10 billion contract for 126 fighter jets. Ashton Carter, chief of the Pentagon's Acquisition Department, even raised the possibility of United States offering the F-35 Lightning II to India as a follow-on to the F-16. The IAF extensively evaluated the F-16, which included field trials in hot weather conditions and in high-altitude mountain ranges. In April 2011, the IAF rejected the F-16's bid in favor of either the Eurofighter Typhoon or Dassault Rafale. In January 2012, the Dassault Rafale finally emerged as the winner of this $10.5 billion deal for 126 fighter jets. In September 2015, Lockheed offered to produce F-16s in India as a part of the Make in India program by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and talks began in February 2016 for a potential deal. F-16 lost in the competition with JAS-39 Gripen E, when Lockheed retired from production in India, and decided to move production line from Fort Worth, Texas, to Greenville, South Carolina. As of July 2017, Lockheed Martin has agreed to sign a letter of intent with the Indian defense firm Tata Advanced Systems Limited to manufacture the jets in India if the Indian government accepts their tender for India's request for a purchase of single-engine aircraft to replace its aging MiG fighters. The new production line can be utilized to supply jets to India as well as for exporting them overseas. Philippines, edit. The F-16C/D variants were first offered to the Philippine Air Force in 1992, and partook with several international competitors in a tender in 1995. This tender was however cancelled as a result of the 1997 Asian financial crisis. In December 2011, the Department of National Defense, DND, and Department of Foreign Affairs, DFA, were tasked to formally request at least a squadron of 12 ex-USAF F-16C/D fighter jets, most probably Block 25 or 30, which would be refurbished to either Block 50 or 52 standards. This was discussed during the US Philippines 2+2 meeting on the 30th of April 2012. The Philippine government would pay for refurbishing, maintenance and pilot training, which would run for 2 years. However, by 2012 the maintenance costs for the used fighters were found to be too high, so attention turned to new jet trainers that could be converted into jet fighters. The requirements were listed as supersonic ability, multifunction displays and onboard oxygen generation system. A DND spokesman has said that aircraft from France, the United Kingdom, Italy, and South Korea were considered. It was reported that the DND would be acquiring multi-role fighters by 2018. In response to the Philippine desire for multi-role fighters, the United States offered variants of the General Dynamics F-16 fighting Falcon. The U.S. State Department approved the sale of 10 F-16C Block 70/72 and 2 F-16D Block 70/72 jets to the Philippines on the 24th of June, 2021. The interest for F-16s renewed and re-emphasized as both the Philippine and U.S. governments seized the need of fast-tracking the multi-role fighter acquisition project during the joint 2+2 ministerial dialogue. On the 1st of April, 2025, U.S. State Department approved another sale of F-16s as the previous approval has since expired. The approval outlined the potential sale of 16 F-16C Block 70/72 and 4 F-16D Block 70/72 jets to the Philippines for $5.58 billion US, $320.2 billion PHP. This approval is in response to the Philippines Secretary of National Defense Gilberto Teodoro's outlined plan to acquire 40 multi-role fighters for Horizon 3 modernization program. Vietnam. On the 21st of April, 2025, multiple news channels reported that Vietnam is finalizing an agreement to purchase at least 24 F-16s. Possibly the F-16V variant. Cancelled orders and failed bids, edit. Australia, edit. See also, McDonnell Douglas F/A-18 Hornet in Australian service. The F-16 and F-16C were among the designs considered by the Royal Australian Air Force to replace its Dassault Mirage 3 fighters in the late 1970s and early 1980s. After the initial evaluation processes were concluded, the RAF was left with a choice between the F-16C and F/A-18 Hornet, both of which met its technical requirements. While the F-16C was cheaper than the F/A-18, the RAF decided that the Hornet was more technologically mature, easier to maintain during operational deployments, and likely to have a much lower attrition rate. Accordingly, the Australian government chose to order 75 F/A-18s in October 1981. Brazil, edit. Main article, Saab JAS-39 Gripen Brazil. Brazil was evaluating the F-16BR with the intent to manufacture it in a joint venture with Lockheed Martin. The Dassault Rafale, Boeing F/A-18 Super Hornet, and the Saab Gripen were eventually shortlisted, but not the F-16BR. In the end, the JAS-39 Gripen was chosen. Croatia, edit. In July 2017, the Croatian Ministry of Defense announced it had restarted the Croatian Air Force MiG-21 replacement procurement program, and issued a request for proposals for up to 12 aircraft to 5 countries, Greece, Israel and the United States for the General Dynamics F-16 fighting Falcon, Sweden for the Saab JAS-39 Gripen, and South Korea for the KT-50 Golden Eagle. In October 2017, the ministry announced it had received 4 letters of intent for up to 18 aircraft from the United States, Israel and Greece, offering various F-16 variants, as well as Sweden offering an unknown Saab JAS-39 Gripen variant. South Korea did not place a bid in the tender. In November 2017, Croatian media announced the offers from Sweden for the Saab JAS-39 Gripen and Israel for a mixed fleet of A/B and C/D General Dynamics F-16 fighting Falcon variants had been down-selected from the 4 offers. According to reports, the US bid was dismissed for being too expensive, and the F-16 Block 30 offered by Greece was dismissed for being too outdated. Further reports insinuate the Israeli offer was leading for being most price competitive, as well as opening up additional opportunities for defense cooperation. In March 2018, Croatia accepted the Israeli offer for 12 F-16C/D Block 30 Barak aircraft in a US $500 million deal. In December 2018, confusion about the deal arose after reports in Israeli media claimed that United States Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis was blocking the deal over Israeli equipment on the aircraft that would give them an unfair advantage over the U.S. bid for ex-United States Air Force F-16s. According to the reports, United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying, "I'm in favor, but Defense Secretary Mattis is against. It's him who is blocking it." Croatian Defense Minister Damir Krstičević denied the reports, stating that the U.S. government has given permission to the State of Israel to offer the Israeli F-16 to Croatia, and we have documented to that effect. It was revealed later that month that Mattis rejected Netanyahu's request to sell the F-16s, unless Israeli upgrades were removed and the aircraft were sold in their original configuration, to which the Croatian government responded by stating they would cancel the deal if this were the case. On the 2nd of January 2019, the Croatian Ministry of Defense issued a deadline on the sale for the 11th of January, by which the sale as originally agreed upon must be confirmed, or it would be cancelled. On the 11th of January, the sale was officially cancelled by the Israeli Ministry of Defense, which reportedly issued an apology to their Croatian counterparts. In May 2021, Croatia selected the French Dassault Rafale to replace its MiG-21s over competing bids, including F-16 offers from Israel and the United States. Colombia, edit. The United States has offered to sell about 15 F-16s to Colombia to modernize its fighter force, currently consisting of 22 aging IAICFs. The offer includes training and maintenance services and overhaul of the 15 jets, offered until now by the U.S. government to Colombia, pending Colombian government approval, and to stop the constant aggressions made by the government of Venezuela. In April 2018, Colombia was offered surplus Israeli Air Force F-16A/B nets and F-16C/D Barak aircraft by Elbit Systems and Israel Aerospace Industries. The aircraft were offered in response to a Colombian Air Force requirement for 12 to 18 fighters, to replace its current fleet of IAICFs. The offer reportedly includes a service life extension program that would upgrade the aircraft to a standard reportedly similar to Block 50. However, on the 3rd of April 2025, Colombia announced it had selected the Gripen E/F to replace its KFIR fleet in a deal expected to include 16 to 24 units. Iran, edit. Iran placed an order for 160 aircraft for the former Imperial Iranian Air Force, IAF, in 1976, with an option for a further 140. Due to the Iranian Revolution in 1979, the order was cancelled and no deliveries were made. 55 of these aircraft were later delivered to the Israeli Air Force. New Zealand, edit. In December 1998, the National Party, under the leadership of Prime Minister Jenny Shipley, had given approval for the Royal New Zealand Air Force to acquire 28 F-16A/B Block 15s following their embargoed sale to Pakistan under a 10-year lease buy arrangement as an interim replacement for its fleet of aging A4 Skyhawks. The agreed price was $105 million. In a controversial move, the acquisition was cancelled by the new incoming Labour government under Helen Clark in March 2000, citing a benign security environment in which an air combat force is not a priority. Summaries of F-16 deliveries, edit. Foreign sales programs by codename, edit. While USAF and EPAF customers account for the majority of F-16 sales, the F-16 has also been sold to many other customers under an agreement known as a Foreign Military Sales (FMS) program. Since the DoD assigns two-word code names to programs such as these, FMS programs are assigned two-word code names beginning with the word peace, indicating oversight by USAF headquarters. The second word in these FMS sales is often chosen to reflect some facet of the customer, such as Marble for Israel or Onyx for Turkey. DoD code names appear in all capital letters. The code name is assigned beginning with the first FMS sale, and Roman numerals are appended to distinguish follow-on buys, the original FMS buy denoted with the Roman numeral I. Note that the sale of the F-16E and F-16F Block 60 models to the UAE was not assigned a code name, because it was not sold under an FMS agreement. Program code name Customer Deliveries Aircraft Acquired Notes. Peace A Summer A Safiya Oman 2005-2006, 12, 8 F-16 C-50, ADV, 4 F-16 D-50, ADV. A Summer A Safiya means clear skies. Peace A Summer A Safiya to Oman 2014, 12, 10 F-16 C-50, ADV, 2 F-16 D-50, ADV. A Summer A Safiya means clear skies. Peace Atlantis I Portugal 1994, 20, 17 F-16 A-15 OCU, 3 F-16 B-15 OCU. Peace Atlantis II Portugal 1999, 25, 21 F-16 A-15, 4 F-16 B-15 USAF EDAs, 5 F-16 as broken down for spares, received MLU upgrade. Peace Bimasna I Indonesia 1989-1990, 12, 8 F-16 A-15 OCU, 4 F-16 B-15 OCU up to 28 additional F-16s were offered. Additional order for 9 aircraft, Pakistani orders, was cancelled. Peace Bimasna to Indonesia 2014-2018, 30, 24 F-16C/D 4 F-16C/D and 2 F-16A/B, instructional airframe, kept in the U.S. Block 25 upgraded to Block 32 Plus, Block 52 ID. Peace Bridge I South Korea 1986-1992, 40, 30 F-16C-32, 10 F-16D-32. Peace Bridge 2 South Korea 1994-2000, 120, 80 F-16C-52, 40 F-16D-52 Licensed Production, Korea Fighter Program, KFP. KF-16. Peace Bridge 3 South Korea 2003-2004, 20, 14 F-16C-52 Plus, 6 F-16D-52 Plus Licensed Production, Korea Fighter Program, KFP. KF-16. Peace Carvin I Singapore 1988, 8, 4 F-16 A-15 OCU, 4 F-16 B-15 OCU. Peace Carvin 2 Singapore 1998, 18, 8 F-16 C-52, 10 F-16 D-52. Peace Carvin 3 Singapore 2000-2002, 12, 10 F-16 C-52, 2 F-16 D-52. Peace Carvin 4 Singapore 2003-2004, 20, 20 F-16 D-52. Peace Caesar Italy 2003-2004, 34, 26 F-16 A-15 ADF, 4 F-16 B-15 ADF, 4 F-16 A/B5/10 10-year lease program of surplus USAF aircraft. Peace Crown I Bahrain 1990, 12, 8 F-16 C-40, 4 F-16 D-40. Peace Crown II Bahrain 2000, 10, 10 F-16 C-40. Peace Delta Venezuela 1982-1984, 24, 18 F-16 A-15, 6 F-16 B-15. Peace Falcon I Jordan 1997-1998, 16, 12 F-16 A-15 ADF, 4 F-16 B-15 ADF USAF EDAs. Peace Falcon II Jordan 2003, 17, 12, 7 plus 9. F-16 A-15 ADF, 5, 1. F-16 B-15 ADF USAF EDAs. Peace Feng Huang Taiwan 1997-2001, 150, 120 F-16 A-20, 30 F-16 B-20 Feng Huang stands for Phoenix in Mandarin, Chinese. Peace Gate I Pakistan 1983, 6, 2 F-16 A-15, 4 F-16 B-15. Peace Gate 2 Pakistan 1983-1987, 34, 26 F-16 A-15, 8 F-16 B-15. Peace Gate 3 Pakistan embargoed, 11, 6 F-16 A-15 OCU, 5 F-16 B-15 OCU. Peace Gate 4 Pakistan embargoed, 60, 48 F-16 A-15 OCU, 12 F-16 B-15 OCU. Peace Drive I Pakistan 2006-2010, 18, 12 F-16 C-52, 6 F-16 D-52. Peace Marble I Israel 1979-1981, 75, 18 F-16 A-5, 8 F-16 B-5, 40 F-16 A-10, 9 F-16 A-15 originally destined for Iran as Peace Zebra. Cancelled due to revolution. Peace Marble to Israel 1986-1988, 75, 51 F-16 C-30, 24 F-16 D-30. Peace Marble 3 Israel 1991-1993, 60, 30 F-16 C-40, 30 F-16 D-40. Peace Marble 4 Israel 1994, 50, 3 F-16 A-1, 2 F-16 B-1, 1 F-16 A-5, 7 F-16 B-5, 32 F-16 A-10, 5 F-16 B-10. Peace Marble v Israel 2004-2009, 102, 102 F-16 D-52. Peace Norwegian I Thailand 1988, 12, 8 F-16 A-15 OCU, 4 F-16 B-15 OCU. Peace Norwegian 2 Thailand 1990-1991, 6, 6 F-16 A-15 OCU. Peace Norwegian 3 Thailand 1995-1996, 18, 12 F-16 A-15 OCU, 6 F-16 B-15 OCU. Peace Norwegian 4 Thailand 2002-2003, 18, 15 F-16 A-15 ADF, 1 F-16 B-15 ADF, 2 F-16 A-10 OCU. Peace Onyx I Turkey 1987-1995, 160, 34 F-16 C-30, 9 F-16 D-30, 102 F-16 C-40, 15 F-16 D-40 all were licensed built by TUSAS under one sole program. Out of 270 aircraft, 10 were designated as perfect and 48 were identified with zero defect. Peace Onyx 2 Turkey 1996-1997, 40, 34 F-16 C-50, 6 F-16 D-50. Peace Onyx 3 Turkey 1998-1999, 40, 26 F-16 C-50, 14 F-16 D-50. Peace Onyx 4 Turkey 2010-2011, 30, 16 F-16 C-50 plus, 14 F-16 D-50 plus. Peace Sky Poland 2006-2009, 48, 36 F-16C-52, 12 F-16D-52. Peace Vector I Egypt 1982-1985, 42, 34 F-16A-15, 8 F-16B-15. Peace Vector II Egypt 1986-1988, 40, 34 F-16C-32, 6 F-16D-32. Peace Vector III Egypt 1991-1995, 47, 35 F-16C-40, 12 F-16D-40. Peace Vector IV Egypt 1994-1995, 46, 34 F-16C-40, 12 F-16D-40 built by Turkish Tusers. Peace Vector V Egypt 1999-2000, 21, 21 F-16C-40. Peace Vector 6 Egypt 2001-2002, 24, 12 F-16C-40, 12 F-16D-40. Peace Z near I Greece 1989-1990, 40, 34 F-16C-30, 6 F-16D-30. Peace Z near 2 Greece 1997-1998, 40, 32 F-16C-50, 8 F-16D-50. Peace Z near 3 Greece 2002-2004, 60, 40 F-16C-52, 20 F-16D-52. Peace Z near 4 Greece 2009-2010, 30, 20 F-16C-52, 10 F-16D-52. References, edit.